Social and political commentary from a Christian male perspective.
God, I apologize about that, but all right. Anyway, I was asking, is Chicago Red going to award Kamal that $10 million? But I feel comfortable in saying that she said absolutely no. Absolutely not. But no, that was cool. Thank you so much for stopping through, and you got the link to follow on through. I know Lady Luck and Alicia. Matter of fact, let's just do it. Let me just, you know what? I've never done a panel, so let's do that. Alicia and Lady Luck, why don't y'all follow on through? No, it's okay, Chicago Red. If you get back in, we got you. No problem at all. We got you. But yeah, I think this is going to be a very interesting. What I was going to say was, I think this is going to be interesting because if this case drags out into an actual trial, that is going to be amazing for them to have to prove all this stuff that they're saying, whether it be so-and-so went to jail, I'm sorry, so-and-so went to the hospital, this, that, and the third. They're going to have to prove that. And I think that's going to be very, very unfortunate because I don't think it's going to work for them like they think it will. But we'll see for sure. We will see. No apologies. If you got time, come on, jump up in here. I know I'm just putting y'all on the spot. It's too early for you to be running around with your bonnet on. So come on, jump up in here. Come on. All right, what we got? Did I drop the link? Okay, there we go. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Come on, follow on through if you got time. Lady Luck and Alicia, no apologies. I see you're in here. Follow on through. Yeah, I don't know what he's going to do. I have no idea. I think they're betting that they're going to be able to shake some money out of people. Is this my Spellman sister? Yes,
it is. How are you?
Quite well, thank you, friend. How are you doing?
I'm okay.
Yeah.
Busy and multitasking, but yeah, great live. It's just,
Thank you.
it's a whole lot going on with this. I literally, first of all, Kamal just filed a SLAPP suit, plain and simple. I mean, who asked for $10 million? He wouldn't even be able to earn that in a lifetime. So,
Explain, and I didn't do it. I'm sorry. I should have done that. Can you explain what a SLAPP lawsuit is, just in case people aren't familiar with that term?
for the most part, it's seen as a frivolous lawsuit that's just designed to try to get either some sort of attention to something, or more so designed to be intimidating or threatening. So it's not something that the courts typically take. I mean, they're looking at, okay, look who you're suing, look how much you're asking for, and then look at the situation to which you're trying to sue.
Right.
You're talking about being terminated for being in a fight. You don't ask for $10 million for that. So it's more of just kind of a way to kind of intimidate and, threaten and be threatening and to bully more so than anything. It's not meant to really go far in courts, and the judge knows, based on the circumstance, they can look at that stuff and say, this is SLAPP suit. You can get out of here, bro. Get out of my courtroom with that.
Get out of here.
$10 million, time, please. So that's gonna be,
it's crazy.
Yeah, and they're not gonna. I mean, if they're smart, they won't even entertain trying to negotiate that. I mean,
no, I agree.
He can't fight, so he should be fired. That's how it works.
So real quick, so the term is strategic lawsuit against public participation, and it's said that it's a lawsuit used to silence and intimidate critics. And so you just in case you ever hear that term again, I meant to pull it up. I had it ready, and then you came in. I was like, let's talk about it real quick. So shout out.
Yeah, big intimidation tactic.
Guess who else we got up in the building? Is that what's going on, lady? Good old, no apologies, just me. How are you?
Let me turn you off. I'm well, and yourself?
Quite well, thank you. We got a whole cadre up in here.
I see.
Alicia joined us. We got the whole crew. We got the whole posse. All right. How are you? And we got Lady Luck Club, of course, in the building. All right. How do you feel about this? How do you feel about these cases? You giving Kamal that money? You writing him that check?
No, no, absolutely not.
$10? Can he get $10?
No.
He can't even get a venti double shot with whip?
Mm-mm.
Man, not even
Mm-mm.
$10?
No.
Oh,
And
man.
two things I had a problem with this whole case, and some I'm not going to say out loud. But one of them, they never should have had those employees standing in the background like that. So that was when you go to the podium, that intimidates people, and that's how they were able to get to and start that confrontation with Jedediah.
Okay, so I thought, but I've never noticed, and I could be wrong. Reality Check, jump up in here, y'all! Shout out to Reality Check Chicago, another fantastic somebody must have put out the bat signal and said, "Get on up here, get the Justice League up in this piece. Come on up in here, man. Brush your beard out a little bit. Come on, get your tie on, and let's go." Reality Check. Okay, I don't remember, and I could be hallucinating. I don't remember if they've. Is that the first time I ever had people behind them? Let me ask you that question.
Always. The employees sit behind the residents.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Always.
Okay.
So
all
I
right.
should have
So
stopped that a long time ago.
I got you. Where would you have them sit? I'm not trying to be funny.
On the side.
On the side?
Like
Okay.
the media has on the side, so they should have sat on the opposite side.
Interesting. Oh, look. I got you. Okay. Oh, look, I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna put it out there again. Critical and Alicia, y'all jump up in here. Let's get this thing discussion. All right. So, in your mind, do you feel that Kamal, collateral damage, properly articulated what actually happened on that day?
I'm sure there were some holes in it. I think everybody put in what they felt at that time in that moment. Because when did they actually go to the hospital? Because remember, I stood outside for a while after that fight, and they never left that building until 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah, I think that's very key that was missing from Kamal's narrative about going to, and I don't believe he actually said that he was stabbed. According to Bo Brindley, like people was getting stabbed left and right. I mean, it's just blood slinging all over the place like a horror movie, the way he was telling the story.
I didn't see no blood.
I mean, to be realistic, they didn't even get a police report for that. Right. So, I mean, somebody would have been charged with, at least aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Yes. There's no police report or photos of this stuff. So, it wouldn't be top secret if they took photos as a part of this case. They would have released that to show that. But it's crazy. The police didn't even charge anyone.
Right. Remember, the police came. The police was there when that melee towards the end of it.
Mm-hmm. Yes, but real quick, I'm gonna need critical. I'm gonna need Chicago. Somebody else jump in here. There's entirely too much estrogen on this panel right now. Now I'm doing my best to hold it down. I'm holding it down.
Well, I need critical. I'm in menopause, so my testosterone is actually up.
That is so much more information than we needed. That is so. I'm going to have to put you in timeout for that. I'm gonna put you in timeout because we did not need what you just said.
Man, that's natural. You got 3 women in that house, right?
I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you right now.
You go through it.
Shout out to Chicago Red. Thank y'all so much for stopping through. If you're just jumping in, you're like, what in the world what did I step into? We are just here. There's some great content creators talking about what's happening here in Dalton. We went over Jedediah's case. We went over Kamal collateral damages lawsuit, and we're just having some fun. Shout out to Chicago Red. Shout out to No Apologies, Just Me, as well as Lady Luck Club has popped in here to have a good conversation. Okay, so Chicago Red.
Yes.
You're not right. You're not writing no checks. You're not giving Kamal $10 million.
I wouldn't give Kamal 10 cents.
Oh man, he can't even get a gumball. Can you get
gumball? He gets no dollars and no dimes. No, sir. No.
Wow. Can you get 9 pennies? Man.
No.
Y'all ain't get a man 9 pennies. Man, that's messed up.
That man owned a whole car wash. He has money, or he had money. I don't know what's going on now.
Oh my gosh!
Oh, and a clothing store.
Yeah, he does have a lot of businesses because that's like his brand. That little was that the paper airplane thing? That's his brand. Mm-hmm. I was looking at his Instagram last night, and I was like, "Oh, okay, that's what that is. That's his little brand." I was like, "Okay, that's cool. I ain't mad at him. Do you think, my
He
brother?"
in, he in these streets in more ways than one.
I'm not messing with y'all. Y'all ain't gonna get me. Y'all ain't gonna get me to talk about that man like that. I know he in them streets because he's a married man, so he's gonna catch these hands. All
With a
right, so
girlfriend.
right, okay, so oh man, we get this a full deck. This thing is. You have to turn your camera on, Alicia. So, in your opinion, Chicago Red,
Mhm.
which case do you feel like better? I'm assuming that you know what happened at the Thornton throwdown. Which one do
Yeah.
you feel like best articulated what happened, narrative wise, tells the story?
I think narratively it would be Jed.
Okay, I can dig it. I can dig it.
I think it's closer to the truth because and I don't know Jed personally. I just feel that he has been the most honest of the two in this situation.
Okay, I can dig it.
From beginning to now, he's been very forthright in everything. He's been transparent, and that's the one thing we've never had with Tiffany and her clique is transparency.
I can dig
In
it.
fact, that's why we're here because there's no transparency.
I no argument for me. No argument for me. Now I
Yeah.
feel like a better balance in the force. A little better balance of the force is going on here. We got Reality Check TV in the building. How are you? As well as my good friend Alicia in the building. How are y'all doing?
Hey, I'm doing well, thank you.
Quite well.
Hey,
Good seeing
everybody. Hey, panel.
Hey,
you. Hey,
hey.
Hi, Steve.
And I'm under the weather, y'all, so it's no camera action for me today.
it's all
It's
good. It's all
okay.
good. Now
Thanks.
I'm giving grace because I invited y'all out here without giving you fair warning. So
Right.
I usually tell people make sure your camera's on, make sure you stay on topic, and we don't use profanity. But I said, hey, I didn't give you fair warning, so I'll let you at least not have your camera on. But
Thank you for that grace.
not a problem at all. Alicia,
Yes.
how much you writing a check for Kamal for? How much you getting him? How much is he getting?
Whatever I write for is going to bounce because I'm not trying to give him anything.
Not no basketball checks. We can't do
Yes.
basketball checks.
Yes, we can, and we will be
Oh
doing them.
man.
Yeah.
Oh.
He's not going to dime because, what I keep visualizing is how I was literally looking dead at him, after the initial brawl, and there was absolutely no cuts or anything on his face. There was no blood coming from him. DeMarcus, he was bleeding from the mouth, like he got busted in the mouth, but he was not, cut.
Right.
Frivolous is a euphemism for this lawsuit.
Facts. Yeah, I
Now,
think
is it possible that Demarcus's cut or blood from the mouth came from the monitor that he ran into?
I don't think so because I want to say,
Oh,
and I would have to look back at the video, that he was bleeding before he jumped on the desk and attacked the TV.
okay.
he attacked the TV. I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
he should have sat his behind down, child.
So
Really?
why do you think
You-
why do you
Went
think
toe
it
to toe
is
with a 42-inch.
why do you think it is that in Kamal's narrative they just seem to forget and maybe maybe he didn't know that Mr. Krigley was out there practicing for the US soccer team out there in the middle of the fight. Like why did you think he didn't mention that? Oh, he also doesn't mention Tiffany. Like you would literally think it was 1 versus 2.
You
Like
would
why
think.
yeah, why do you think that is?
You
Besides the
have to make your,
odds.
you have to make yourself sound good.
I mean, you're the superhero in your own story. Absolutely. Yes.
Absolutely.
I was like, man, he totally just forgot. Like, oh yeah, by the way, I had a whole second. And remember, Krigley is pulling him away in the early part of the fight, actually impeding his ability to interact with Lavelle at the very beginning. He wraps his arms around his waist and is pulling him back. He didn't even mention that.
Question.
Yes.
I didn't go to the last meeting. Did they fix the TV or is it still up there like that?
It was gone the last meeting I saw, but go ahead.
Okay. That's the question.
Okay.
I didn't even see anything from the basement. I just saw the upstairs.
Yeah, in the basement, the screen is just gone. It was just gone.
Okay.
When they showed the basement, the
The
large
widescreen.
room, yeah, when they showed that, you could see that the TV was just gone over
Okay.
the security guard's desk. But if I find a picture, I'll make sure I bring it back or pull it up or whatever.
I
But
guess we won't be getting that refund on the taxes in Thornton because they got to pay for that TV.
Yeah, they're gonna. Yeah, so
They need to make him pay for it.
I mean, really, I
Make
don't
him
know why
pay for
not.
it.
Why not? That dude needs to pay for that for sure.
He need to
He
pay for that.
should.
But no, okay. So now let's go back. Let's talk about Mr. Jedediah's case. Now, I don't remember this whole security guard. I remember the security guard picking him up. I remember Jedediah waving goodbye with one finger as he went out the door. I remember that part. He was waving goodbye to everybody. I don't remember this whole. I didn't see this whole exchange of them taking him into a room and shutting the door for a minute and 30 seconds. What y'all think about that?
That did happen.
Oh,
But no, the part they took him into a room. But I want to
oh,
say this about the security guard because originally I thought he was mean and nasty and whatnot. But I had a conversation with him, and he said he's just only doing his job. And also the tall, dark skinned one, the short, fat one, he always sit down. He don't do nothing but sit there. But the tall guy, he was standing on the side, like the end of the table. So like he was, so nobody would get to Tiffany. So there was no way for him to get to that back before that fight started. Now the little short guy, I don't know. I didn't even. He was
yeah, he would.
irrelevant because I didn't even. He didn't move. But you can't blame the tall security guard because he
That's
tried to,
Storm, right?
and I think that's his
Storm.
name.
Okay, yeah.
And
Yeah,
he
that's Storm.
want everybody in because when we walked in, I told him, I said, "Why you watering us down? And we too old. We ain't trying to fight up in here." Good
Oh
thing
my
he did.
gosh. And
And he
look
got
at you.
everybody
And look
in.
at you. You're gonna be on the next lawsuit. They're gonna throw you in the conspiracy. You're gonna be in the RICO.
You know
Oh yeah.
what? I had a conversation with Officer Storm last year. I want to say April, May, June, one of those months
Mhm,
at the Township. And this was before everyone had gotten there. He and I was just standing outside talking, and he was really nice, very
mhm.
approachable, and I've never had an issue with him. And I did understand that his job was to be there to protect whoever,
So he's
Yes.
whether
not a
it's
police
Tiffany.
officer.
No, he's
Or
not a police
okay.
officer. He's a security, but I think he's an armed security guard. I
Gotcha.
Mhm.
I
think
thought he
he's
was a police officer, so
licensed. No,
I
he's
might have
not police.
misspoke. I
Yeah, I was
apologize there.
wondering the same thing because he dressed like he was a police officer, and my
Yeah.
He
concern was
dressed. He does
it's
dress
too
tactical.
close. Yeah, yeah,
Tactical.
and that's what
Tactical is
was the
crazy.
concern was like is he impersonating or trying to? It might not be intentional, but it could be perceived that he's a commissioned police officer if you look at him. So just outside
Okay.
looking in, not knowing him. So that was what I was curious about.
Gotcha. Okay. Again, just looking at some of the things in the discussion. Jedediah said that there was a knife and a pew pew. This is my first time hearing that from
Well,
Jedediah, at least.
to be honest, I'm gonna be honest. Somebody did yell there was a knife. I didn't turn to look, so I don't know, but I did hear someone say it.
Okay. Okay. I admit my first time hearing it was when Bo Brindley mentioned it. So I guess I mean if it was in the tape, then I apologize. I didn't hear it. But okay, if there was a knife, well, what about the handgun though?
Now I don't know about no
That's the
handgun. I
first
wouldn't
time
turn
about
around.
that.
Yeah, that's my first time hearing
But
that one. But go ahead.
but here's the thing: if there was a knife or a handgun, who would have brought it in? Because they had metal
Right.
detectors, and everybody walked through except who?
Very good point. The
True.
people that came from the back.
Mhm.
So
Yes.
Yeah.
that's a fantastic catch. That's a fantastic catch.
I'm just
Because
saying.
because
Yep.
if everybody came through the front door and that's where you wanted them, but I came through the garage door and nobody's wanted me from the garage door because I got special privileges or I'm walking in this, with my people. Yeah, who would have had a weapon?
And let's be very
My,
clear: if anybody was going to go through that metal detector, Jed was going to go through that metal detector.
Facts.
mhm.
If anybody was going, he was going.
Yeah.
So
My concern is if I may, my concern was, the accusation of him using a knife or having it on his person and using it in a fight, which is the accusation from this Brindley guy who's a whole attorney. And, you're talking about video evidence and witnesses that could come in and prove otherwise. And the scope of the allegation is now about somebody bringing in a knife. That didn't come up until after the fact.
Right.
I guess when she realized she wouldn't have a great case just on the brawl itself. So you throw in a weapon into this, now it makes it more serious, and she's trying to validate her reason for jumping into the fight. And I told Jedediah myself, don't speak on it, because
Yeah.
you're giving corroboration to something that still has nothing to do with you particularly. And in this matter, don't open it up. Just
True.
keep it, narrow to what the allegation is that you particularly had a knife on you. And you didn't. So if anyone's coming at you saying, well, that was a knife, okay, well, make them come in, testify under oath, and describe the person that had it, and make them have to point that person out. But at the end of the day, you didn't have it. And that's
all that
the
matters.
point you should be focusing on, and not all this other outside stuff, because now you're giving validation to her jumping in and feeling like who's she gonna rescue with a knife? Either way. I mean,
Right.
she put herself at risk. Okay, now you're gonna put yourself at risk getting stabbed. Like, it doesn't make any sense. So you still want to be able to defend anything on a knife attack. So why even, like I told him, don't entertain it. Just let them prove that and meet that burden on some allegation of you having a knife. Make them prove that on their own. Don't help them with that. But that was my only issue with that. It's like, yeah.
What's so insane to me is that for months since Jed has been a part of this whole process, she's referred to him directly or indirectly as a credible threat. She's had all of this security in Dalton because of these threats. She, was very restrictive in the meetings in Dalton when they were actually at the village hall. And when you see somebody with a knife, you want to run into the fight. I don't. That doesn't make sense,
right?
Syntax error.
Right.
I don't get it.
But
So
they
clearly you're not scared. And she's from the west side, so I know she's not scared.
You know she ain't
Right.
scared.
Never scared.
I know she's not scared.
And listen, and just think, like, who had time to pull out of such a weapon and during that chaos?
Right.
Somebody that would have anticipated it actually happening. Because I don't believe the argument that. And let's talk about this conspiracy now. Can we talk about the conspiracy?
Okay.
How are you coming up? How do y'all feel about the conspiracy argument that collateral damage is using? Like, how do you feel about them conspiring to bring together, cabal together to get Jedediah here to provocate a fight? What do you think?
I think that's.
You mean with the trustees?
Yes. Where they say that the Dolton and Thornton trustees work together to incite this riot. And
the judge and jury are going to be like, we're not going to entertain that. It has nothing to do with this case. Y'all will have to prove that, pretty much. They're not even going to the judge nor the jury and all. They're not going to care about conspiratorial nonsense.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, no. Go ahead. I was saying they're not going to care about conspiratorial nonsense, but yeah, you go ahead.
I was just going to say the day Tiffany put on that Nino Brown outfit, or excuse me, Martin Lawrence outfit.
Martin Lawrence. Yeah.
She started that process of how we got here that day.
And think of it also as this is Thornton Township and this is Dalton. These two don't even go together.
Nope.
It is apples and oranges at this point. If you're gonna sue, you gotta sue through Dalton's situation, not through Thornton Township, because they have nothing to do with Thornton Township.
Right, or just sue Thornton Township. You have to include Dalton. I think that's really just again going back with SLAPP. I think it's just to muddy the water as we are rounding these bases. In my opinion, sadly, if she had done this like 2 weeks ago, she did this the day after the fight. Maybe she might have had some movement. But didn't election start like that following week after the fight? Early voting, rather. I'm sorry.
I think it was 2 weeks. It's been 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah, it's been 2 weeks.
Yeah. No, 2 weeks. But I'm saying like from the day of the fight and Thornton throwdown. When did early voting start? After it was 2 weeks after. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
But my point is, she could have moved the needle. Maybe moved the needle by throwing all these people in a lawsuit and whatever. But let me also just add, y'all sue everybody and their cousin up there, okay? So it's like, oh, I got a lawsuit. Like I could Y'all sue everybody up there, y'all.
Well,
This is
she's
crazy.
on record saying she always gets sued. So
And I don't. After now, when I saw all the cases that are against her, and just how quickly they just throw out lawsuits like this, I'm like, I don't doubt it that she probably is getting sued at lawsuits all the time. It's crazy. So
And she's comfortable with it. I would be a nervous
very.
wreck.
yeah, yeah. But she's. If I'm not even being funny, I think I counted 20 plus. So
20.
20, and I know that wasn't the end of it. So I just counted 20. So that being the case, she done probably got look. I got a form letter. She probably got as a text message reply, like just like just text it to her lawyer, like, hey, we got another case. That's crazy.
It's crazy.
So yeah, I don't know
I
how
think
to.
she doesn't realize like how these cases can really start mounting up against her when you just because I went over in my last live about looking at the background or facts or a statement of facts or summary evidence in these pleadings,
Mhm.
and it's citing case law and laws that she's violated, and she's not seeming to be competent enough to put this stuff together that this stuff can still be used against her, and the FBI, when they decide to drop an indictment, can cite some of those cases too. So
And
it's gonna hit her real hard, and she'll wake up and be like, "Oh my God, I can't believe I have 40 plus lawsuits that now have
now
all
they
come back to
home.
haunt me." So
I'm glad you
yeah.
brought that up. I'm glad you brought that up because I was going to ask y'all, what do y'all think? Is the FBI going to ever come?
Oh,
Yes.
definitely.
Oh wow, everybody said definitely. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So since
Just
y'all
not
so
soon enough.
not soon enough. Okay.
Not soon
Give me.
enough.
All right. Go ahead. The FBI calls you today, and they say, "Hey, when should we come?" What you telling them, Chicago Red?
Last year,
Since we can't, they
can
can't,
we jump
they
in the
can't
time machine and go
declassify the
back?
time machines yet. They can't declassify the time machines yet. Trump has not authorized that yet. So we got to stick with what we can do now. What are they going to
Okay.
do now?
Well, since she's still a black woman in power, let's wait until she's without power.
Okay. So you talking about after election.
I'll
What about
wait.
you? What
I'll
about
wait.
you? No apologies.
I say it's gonna be like I would say May or June. I think what did I hear something had to be like 30 to 90 days after election or something like that.
Oh, okay. Okay. What about you, Lady Luck Club?
I want them to come through when they are fully prepared to land in a conviction. That's kind of
Okay.
you
I
know,
like that.
I want it to be so airtight to where her appealing it. I want it to be to the point where even if she gets a plea deal, it still involves prison. That's what I
I have
want.
a
That's how
question.
airtight I want that.
Wow.
I have a
Okay.
question.
Go ahead.
Wasn't Blagojevich still governor when he was snatched up by the FBI? Was it the FBI?
I
I
believe
think you're
so.
right.
Yes.
He was
I
still
wish I could
governor.
spell his name. I wish I could spell it because I would look it up.
Just put BLOG and it'll Blagoj is BLOG something. Rob BLOG.
But
We're not good with
Red,
Robs in Illinois.
no.
Huh?
Red. Let me ask you a question. Always when I
Yes.
think of Tiffany Henry, I always think of Betty Lorraine Ortiz. And I'm like, it's the
Oh.
same thing. It's like hissing
What
and
she was
receive and
Cicero,
stuff.
right?
Yes.
Cicero.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And she went to jail. And her
And
daughter went
did.
downstate. Yeah. She had
Yep.
a little girl also.
Well, with the Blagojevich case, Jesse Jr. went to jail and his
And
wife
his wife. Yeah, sure did.
Mhm.
trying to get
Jesse
that
got
Let's
Obama
be
seat.
clear here.
and the wife.
Just because you're a mayor, a supervisor, a councilman, or anything doesn't mean you can't go to prison. So you commit a
Exactly.
crime, you're talking about criminal charges. Either way, she could still be, indicted and convicted. So her title will not protect or spare her or save her of any sort. And if she really thinks that, then she really is stuck on stupid. So
Right.
that's not going to save her. She can still. I think it's a policy where the FBI, the DOJ, they don't want to have any perception of having some influence in an election by doing, moving forward with filing an indictment and all of that stuff. But who's to say they're not ready to do it as soon as this election is over? But they just don't want to have the impropriety of having some sway in it is what they're trying to preserve themselves from. But even, God forbid she wins again, she still can go to prison now. So that will be irrelevant to them because they can still lock her up and take her down. It's
Absolutely.
not going to save
Yeah.
or spare her. Yeah,
So,
Absolutely.
she done
definitely.
for.
so just in case
Yeah.
you were wondering, Rob Blagojevich was arrested on December 9th, 2008, and he was governor. And so
Mhm.
he was impeached on January 29th, 2009. So he was still governor for a month while he was arrested and indicted. So no, I think you make a great point. Who
He
is
went in with white. He went in with black hair and he came out with white hair.
yeah, the
Sure.
pictures look
And when I tell you he was mad he couldn't get that hair dyed,
Yeah.
y'all are wild. Why are y'all like this? Why are y'all like this? No, I agree.
we
That
can't
is
help it. We're from Illinois. That's what we do.
Yeah.
that good point. Good point. Good point.
We've had a couple of governors go to jail.
Y'all had
Hmm.
like the last four, if I'm not mistaken.
Now slow down,
Hold
Jason.
on. Let me look it up. Let me look it up.
Yeah.
At least two or three. At least two or three. I think Thompson, wasn't it Thompson?
Thompson.
Or Ryan. Was it Thompson or Ryan?
I think
One of them.
definitely Ryan because that it was the
The
CDLs,
licensing. The
Yes.
license. Yeah.
Uh,
It's always something
Look,
going on.
out of the last 10 governors in Illinois, 4 have gone to prison.
I was right.
she got it right. Ding
uh,
ding
No, you got it
Otto
right. I said three.
Otto
I said two or three.
Kerner, Dan Walker, George
Oh,
Ryan, and Rob Blagojevich.
Goyevich, yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
And
I
they
don't know
all,
the first two.
yeah, the first 2 they might have been before our time because like
They were.
1961 through
Oh yeah.
68, 1973 to
Mhm.
1974. I mean
Uh-huh.
77.
Okay.
So those are my those are before me. I wasn't born that time yet.
Yeah.
I'm a youngster.
Mhm.
I'm a youngster. But no, the other ones, but yeah. So okay. All right. So here we go.
Okay.
You get a phone call. It's
Mhm.
Clean House 2025. They're feeling confident that they're going to win. They feel confident that they are going to be running. We're going to stick with Dalton for the moment, and then we'll jump over to Thornton. So they ask you, what should be the first 3 things that we work on coming into Dalton? What would you say? Let's start with Lady Luck Club. What would you say?
Well, I mean, I've been talking about the finances and how they're going to generate revenue and profits to try to get out of this deficit. So I would think that would be the first start.
Okay,
Just based on my research, outside looking in anyway.
I got you. No apologies.
I
D
would say
Love.
personally, I would say I really wouldn't have a say in that because I live in the next town over, so we have our own problem. So I would let whatever the residents decide what they need for their town to be done. I'm
Okay,
in Thornton Township, but Dalton
I
don't
got you.
affect
I can
me.
dig it. I can dig it. Chicago Red, what you gonna say?
I think in every village they have a downtown area, and in the
Hmm.
downtown area of Dalton, they need to build that up. When you start building up the downtown spaces, then everything outside of that kind of
Flourishes.
flourishes.
Yeah. Okay.
Exactly.
I can
So
dig it.
I feel like whatever the people were trying to do under this administration, but were unable to because of Tiffany. There was I can't think of the name of that street. Help me out.
Is it
Where
Sibley? I
the
always hear about Sibley.
not Sibley have a
Martin
lot of
King,
business.
Oh, it does.
yeah,
Okay.
I
Martin
think
Luther
it's King.
King. We used to
Yeah,
call it Park Street or something. They changed the name, if I'm not mistaken.
but wherever the village hall is, that street because
Yeah,
that's downtown, right?
Okay.
yes,
And where the free grocery store thing
yes,
is,
yes.
Mm.
Doctor,
Right on
what's her name?
time.
Doctor
Scott.
Dr.
Doctor
Scott.
Scott. That
Hmm.
area, if they can build that area up and make it safe, make it appealing to everybody, I think that'll be the start. That would be the
And
start. I'm not
Okay.
mad at some of Tiffany's ideas, but
hmm
the problem with Tiffany is it's about me and not
hmm
about us.
We.
right.
We exactly. It's always
Hmm.
I'm doing this. This is what I want to do instead of let's do this together. Let's see how we can incorporate people in the village to make this happen. So yeah, she has some good ideas, but just
Yeah,
implemented it poorly.
I agree with you, Red. And I think you remember that one time they used to have a a movie theater down there, downtown Dalton. They used to have a club down there. The Snap and
Now
Uh-oh.
Slide.
Uh-oh.
I'm from the west suburbs, so I'm not all that familiar
Oh,
with Dalton, but I have a
okay.
house in South Holland.
Oh,
So
oh, nice.
What
Okay.
west suburb are you from?
Bellwood.
Gotcha.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. Yeah, she was sad.
I'm West Side.
I
Born and
love it.
raised.
All
You
right.
know
So
what? Let me say
go
last
ahead.
thing. I'm sorry, dear world Christian. And you know what? I got an opinion now. You know that skating rink? I'm sorry about the skating rink. Just charge it to the game, tear all that up, and put houses up and down that little spot.
Yeah, the
Hmm.
skating rink is inappropriate.
Yeah, yeah.
100%
It's out of
inappropriate.
order.
Can I
So if
speak
they,
up? Well, Christian, because I do
mo-
want to just give some input on that
we
comment.
will allow you to do that. Absolutely.
Thank you. Um, I feel like a priority should also be the infrastructure of Dalton, meaning the inside employees. I think they really do need to clean house and reevaluate who's in what position, who's qualified for that position, what they're spending on that person for that position, and just really clean house that way so they can move forward fluidly, with the right people in the right positions,
Hmm.
things like that. So I think that's equally as important as everything that everyone has said, which I do agree with.
I love it. I was only going to add that they need to come in with a full transparency plan that everybody who wants to know should be very clear what is your financial state as soon as possible in this,
Well,
in the city or village of Dalton, and then how you're moving forward to change that, improve that, or keep it the same. So I think just being very clear and transparent, that would be a great way, in my opinion, along with all the other ideas that y'all came up with. Somebody else was going to add something.
yeah, that's a great point. But to be honest, they had set out to be transparent. It was Tiffany that basically circumvented the transparency by disallowing them access to my viewpoint, which is a financial transparency portal, basically.
Is that
Um,
for the residents or for the?
it's for the board, but also to that, and I was also going to add, they also used to do biweekly COW meetings, committee as a whole of the whole. And that is where residents did have input on everything from the warrant list to, things that are in my viewpoint. And they spoke about those things. So that was one way that they, mitigated the transparency aspect. But again, Tiffany has all but canceled every single one of those COW meetings during her last couple of years in her tenure.
Yeah, so that would be what I would suggest, along with the other things that you all are talking about. Getting the right employees in the right spot and building up infrastructure, and of course, getting businesses in there. Because again, I talked to somebody earlier today, and I'm like, "What do y'all need to do to attract businesses there?" Because ultimately, the in my opinion, because some of the things you all do in Dalton and Thornton don't make sense to us Southerners, and it just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't. Not saying it's bad. It's just totally different. And I'm like, what are you doing to building businesses there so those businesses can help take care of your community and such like that? But because I just can't imagine, I'm not going to fight over a food box.
Well,
Um,
if I could be honest,
yeah,
growing as a young adult, in a place where I want to go somewhere and party and hang out with people, Dalton was always an option that was thrown out there, but it was never any place that I wanted to go because
okay,
Dalton at that point, like from the 90s to current, the crime in that
yeah, I heard it's
area
bad. Yes,
was an issue. And not to, and I'm never that person to talk down on my folks, but it was always a concern, so I just never really went in that area. So I would also look into the police department
Mhm.
and make sure that everyone there understands their purpose and that they're there to protect and serve everybody, not
Correct.
just one person,
I
and
like it.
make it a safer space because it's too much going on in Dalton that can be circumvented and avoided if they had enough police presence in certain areas and not using the police against the good residents
Right.
and make them do what they're supposed to do for the people that aren't supposed to be there.
I love it. I love it. Okay. All right. So now you get a call from, well, okay, let me first of all, before we fix all problems, because we've now
Mhm.
fixed all the problems in Dalton. Now we're going to transition to the township. But we got another problem. Who's going to be your supervisor? Who you all think's going to win that? Who do you think? Come on, D. You look like you about to say something. So let's go ahead and get it out. Go ahead and get it out. Get it out.
What
It's
are
a
our
safe space.
choices? Who are
We
our
got
choices?
at the current moment, I think, right? Napoleon and Nate,
Napoleon.
right? And Nate, right?
Is Nate going? Is that what he's going for?
Yeah, he's running
Yeah,
for
Supervisor.
Nate Fuel.
supervisor.
Yeah,
Yes.
supervisor.
You know what? I like Nate. I like that he's approachable. I met him actually at Blueberry Field.
Mhm.
He introduced himself,
Okay.
and but I don't know if he's ready for supervisor.
Mhm.
Okay.
And that's just I like him. I think maybe if he worked his way up to supervisor, I'm not sure if supervisor is his niche right now. But I could be wrong. I've been wrong before, very few
Okay.
times.
Okay. I can dig it.
What you
Uh,
think, D Love and Lady Love?
look, yeah.
uh,
Let me see.
if I mean, I think Napoleon. I've said this before. I think Napoleon would be best suited in remaining a state senator, and then if anyone was to win, um, Nate Fields, be supervisor, and then you end up with Jason House as mayor and Dalton. They
Mhm.
find ways to kind of work together and collaborate off of each other, and to try to help improve, you know, uh, Thornton and Dalton at the same time while working with a state senator that can help pass legislation to pave the way for some progress to come. So that was kind of my theory. I've said before, and I actually wouldn't mind that little trifecta, but I think it would help if he had some platforms, if he had some information he puts up to show, you know, based on feedback from the community, what it is he's realistically trying to do with his, with policies and things of that nature. So,
Yeah.
but that would be if I had to say, my recommendation. I wouldn't mind just kind of seeing those three working together to help improve, Dalton and Thornton.
Does Nate
Okay.
have any? Does he have any background in like finance or management? I just need to know a little bit more about him, and I don't feel like I'm getting
Right.
that
Well,
information from him.
I have spoken to Nate, and he said he's ready to do interviews. He said that yeah, from what I know, he has worked in the township since high school, so he has had a relationship with Frank Zuccarelli, and I know he's worked in the was it what are we doing now? Videography, media.
Hmm.
He's worked in the
Okay.
media portion of it. Um,
Okay.
what I do like, I would vote for. Let me tell you why I would vote for Nate. I'm voting for Nate, and I can actually vote. So I'm saying I'm voting for Nate. It's
Mm,
because I don't know. First, I was not going to vote for him, to be honest.
okay.
But when
Okay.
I actually physically had a conversation with him, the
Hmm.
man is on point. I talked to his father. His father is well known in the Chicago community politics.
Okay.
Um, and what else I had realized about him? And like I had told Nate, this was at the first meeting when they had that electoral board. I said, Nate, you need to go back to school and become an attorney. He said, no, that's not what I want to do right now. When he went but before that judge, the judge told him the same thing. He's
Mm,
very articulate and he's very like approachable. He comes off a one way, but he has strength behind him. And
hmm
we'll have to remember, and I just hope that Thornton Township consists of 17 communities. Now,
hmm
Right.
Jason House could be maybe his mentor, but he has to be able, but that's two different entities. And
Right.
remember, Thornton Township is only a public aid assistant to the 17 communities, and it's
Right.
really ran off of grants.
Hmm.
So, and if he put the right, maybe no shade of Robert, I know he got six figures, but maybe he get another accountant in there, that's somebody, finance person, a controller, just the people in places so it can run smoothly and everything goes through the board.
Okay.
So that's why I was voting for Nate.
I'm still tossed. I don't know. I haven't decided. Haven't
Okay.
decided, but I do. Like I said, I did speak with Nate. I didn't go as in depth because he was door dashing at the time, so
Oh,
he
let's
was
see.
kind of
Okay.
But
Oh.
he approached me. He introduced himself. He asked me if I was from the area, and I was. And
Mhm.
I like that because I'm very introverted, so I can
Yeah.
talk, but you gotta bring it out of me.
Okay.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay.
Yes.
So,
And D Love, I picked up your little sleight of hand right there, your little jab that I can vote. So basically, what you're saying is that me and Lady Luck Club, we ain't got nothing to say because we're like
Yeah,
undocumented
we're just
Dalton and Thornton
peasants.
resident. We picked up what
we're
you threw
just
down.
we're just some peasants down
Oh
here in
no.
Georgia. We just the
Right. We just,
what
peasants.
what did somebody say yesterday? They're
oh
a Chicagoan
yeah.
AT alien, the Daltonite or something. I
Right.
forgot
It
what
was
it was.
that might have been it. That might have been it. Oh, I
It
meant
was
to write that
Chicagoan
down.
something AT alien.
Yep.
It was four things. It was
Okay.
funny.
It was very good.
Yeah, I'm
Man,
just the peasants.
now I got to go back and watch that because I totally forgot that. You're right. I'm going to pull
I
it up. I'm
forgot
going to
what it
figure it out.
was.
And I
But,
have on
But
page.
there is a Republican running because
It is.
remember they
Right,
had their
Yes.
caucus the same day that the
right,
Democrats had their caucus.
True.
I
right.
just don't know who that person is. I
okay.
don't know
So
the name.
I did it. I
Yeah.
asked my office assistant and searched, and it's saying that there's not one. There isn't one, but it could be just
There
that
we
they're
go.
not. Okay.
I covered the Republican caucus. I did a reaction to it, so it might have been lost in translation with all these brawls and stuff. But
Right.
it is a Republican that is running. So if you wanna, I don't even remember his name, but I just I did a reaction video to the entire caucus. It may have lasted 6 minutes, so
Oh,
it's really quick.
Yes.
But yeah,
oh,
there is a Republican candidate. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
okay. Then I apologize. And yeah, I couldn't find the name of him,
because they
but
got to run up against somebody.
Because
that's
remember,
true. Yeah.
what's Tiffany's lawyer name again with the puff puff?
Oh, Max
Max Solomon. Remember
Solomon. Solomon.
he was at the Republican uh electoral
Caught.
or
Caucus.
whatever that
Okay,
was caucus.
the caucus.
Yeah,
Mhm.
he
Okay.
ran in and then he left and came to the Democrat.
Can y'all tell me how is Tiffany funding all these lawyers? Because I did the math.
God.
I counted 7 that we've seen
She
since the Vegas fiasco. I've counted
she's feeding
7
them
different.
good burgers.
There's some in
I'll
that
go in
special
timeout.
sauce
They
she
You want
might
me
put
to go
they
in
on
might
there
sue
got
timeout?
her.
me.
They might sue her.
Especially with
Oh
that ooey gooey juice she shoots
I
into
know,
them.
right? There's something in that sauce.
Oh,
Crabs.
yeah, that's wild. Like, but how's she affording these attorneys, man?
Doesn't the township pays for it?
Oh
at
my
the
god.
car wash.
Uh-huh.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. They get free car
Rodeo.
washes.
And that car wash is kicking.
It's good.
I mean, that car wash is crushing it. If that's the case, that car wash is getting it done.
Lord.
And
Y'all see the
Alicia
prices
said,
on that billboard? It was almost atrocious. $200 for a detail. Ugh. God. Like, no,
You know
you
what?
ain't cutting the grass out here. We ain't paying $200 when you can't keep the grass cut.
Okay.
Now,
dear World Christian, did you see
yeah.
Alicia said that it's Richard Nolan is the Republican candidate?
Where is she? I'm sorry. I
She's
didn't
in
see
the
where.
private chat.
Oh, there it is
It's
right
in the
there.
private chat. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know she was still. How are you doing that? You're not on the screen. Okay. Richard
Mhm.
Nolan's a Republican candidate. I didn't know that. Well, now we know. All right. So now at least there's some options now. We got some options because Nate is independent, right?
Yes.
Okay. So then
Yes.
we got a Republican, Democrat, and independent. Okay, cool.
Hmm.
Oh, I guess I should ask. I mean, is it okay if I mention her name?
Cassandra
Cassandra, what's her name?
What's her
Jordan
last name?
Hobson Jordan.
Hobson.
Oh,
Cassandra
God.
Hobson Jordan. Come on, she
I don't
ain't
even
getting
think
you.
she's a non-factor.
Okay,
Definitely.
Yeah.
yeah,
I don't even understand half the stuff she says in the couple videos I watched. I just didn't. I was like, I can't do this. It's almost like watching that other one, honey, just yabber off about something with mortgages. I can't. I
Um,
just can't.
My
My
personal
brain on the
opinion,
third room for
I
one.
think she wanted something else to do and she chose to run for a supervisor.
Yeah.
That's the attitude she gives me. I
what
just
Okay,
want
so
to
would
do
she's
something.
bored. She's bored. I
Yeah.
got it.
Hmm.
so
Yeah.
what would no? She's running for mayor. Isn't she running for
yeah.
mayor?
Mayor
Yeah, she's
for
running for
Dalton.
mayor. What
See,
would?
that's how important her position, her running is.
There you go.
I don't even know.
I don't even know. Okay. So what would? Well, besides actually knowing the job that she's trying to do, what would you say she should do if she called you and said, "Hey, I need her. What should I do?" What would you tell her to do? Because she's got till April, right? So she's going to be running. She's going to be running against whoever wins, Jason or Tiffany. Then she's going to run against them. Okay. So what would you tell her to do?
She needs a PR coach.
Okay, I like that. I like that.
Because when she did her interview, I saw an interview of her, and her responses were very
Nasty, unprofessional.
thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Yeah.
Y'all
Weird.
crack me up.
Yeah.
Y'all crack me up.
And
It's
we've
weird.
already been through that. We've been through that.
Right.
So
Right.
what you're doing is not going to get you what you think it's going to get you. And I
Agreed.
get, having a level of sarcasm, but no, ma'am. We've been through that storm. We're not doing that no more.
I
Agreed.
agree. I agree.
Right.
What would you say, Lady Luck?
I mean, I wouldn't even keep on my phone call too long. Be like, all right, bye. You say your name is what? Bye. Bye, Felicia. Bye. Hang up.
Wow.
I wouldn't want to, if I had to, like, and she's consistent with this tone and this aggression and her, mentality and thought process. It's like every single time you see her in a video, and it's just like, who wants to deal with that? It's a headache. So, I wouldn't entertain her for 2 minutes. Nope. Get off my phone.
Mm-mm.
Bye, Felicia.
I agree. And it's time
No,
for a change. It's time for a change.
Yeah.
I
And I
got you.
like House because, not because he's a man, but I like House because he is like calm. And you need calmness at this point to get out of the situation that we are all in or they are in. And also he has ideas to make Dalton better and
Hmm.
bring businesses.
I think the
Okay.
most aggressive I've ever seen Jason is when he told William Moore, "Don't pray for him no more."
Hey, listen,
That's the
that was
most aggressive.
legendary. Yeah.
So, do you think that Jason House has the ability to be assertive? Now, you don't have to be like cantankerous aggressive, but assertive when, because Tiffany Henry's not going to go away unless if she don't go to jail, she's going to be causing chaos. Do you feel like he's going to, and let's say she regretfully gets in the ears of a trustee or the ears of somebody that works there, and they start being her surrogate and start acting ridiculous? Do you think he's going to have the ability to put the kibosh on it, or he's going to just run amok? What do you think?
No, I think he has the ability.
He
Okay.
reminds me
He
of
has
Obama.
he's a quiet storm.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I think, see, authority doesn't have to be loud.
That's fair.
Authority doesn't have to be aggressive. But when authority comes in the room, you recognize it and you respect it. And I think
Absolutely.
that's what Jason gives, is
Right.
authority.
Okay.
Because when he
Right.
walks
Yeah, I
in the
can.
room, huh?
And it's whenever he's in charge of the meetings, it's not chaotic. It's very respectful.
Yep.
Mhm.
Let me push back on that.
Okay, push
I
back.
noticed that too, but
Mhm.
also let's tell the truth. The audience does play into the chaos. The residents sometimes they feed into that. Remember, if you go back and watch some of those meetings with Lacey, one more time, I'm gonna shut down the meeting. All that dumb stuff he was doing, they would respond in kind,
Mhm.
or they were still signifying, they were still talking up and all that kind of stuff like that. And he was only egging it on and making it worse.
Who,
But
Lacey?
yeah, Lacey was. He was a complete
Mhm.
clown. So when Lacey left, it's a lot of that kind of tampered down. But
It
they were
did
still signifying. There's still a lot of talking from the audience. They weren't quiet. So
because, but remember, Tiffany was still. They were
right.
still at the. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So I'm just saying, like, now, what if let's say the audience doesn't like something that Jason's trying to do? He wants to
Mhm.
rehab the skating rink, but they want him to build apartments, or he wants to whatever it is, and they feel like they don't agree with him. Is what's going to happen if they start pushing back against him? Do you think he's going to be cool, calm, and collected and forceful, or just cool, calm, collective, and retreat?
I think the
Mhm.
difference is he would be receptive to the critiques. Tiffany was not receptive to the critiques.
That's fair. Oh,
And
okay.
that's what caused a lot of the friction. She just, as I've always said, she won't take direction or correction, and that's dangerous.
I got you. Okay. No. And I think, and that was something I told somebody today. I feel like if because the person articulated that Tiffany had a lot of ideas and the board didn't like those ideas, trustee, and they were oil and water from the beginning. I said, well, that's cool. That I understand that. I said, but you do understand that it's a team project. And I always give the example. I'm a deacon at my church. My pastor and associate pastor and my elders, they make suggestions, but we decide whether or not we're going to actually write the check.
Right.
So there's been checks that have been requests that have come in big, and we've had to whittle them down, or requests that came in small, and after we looked at them, they were a little bit bigger. So, but everybody's in agreement before we start. Like, we're doing a building project, and all of us have to be in agreement. So, there's 15 of us, 17 of us. We're all in agreement with this plan to do this project. So it can't be 15 and 2 holdouts. So we all are in agreement. So I'm just wondering, is that part of the problem? Is that Tiffany, she had good ideas, but she wasn't willing to work with everybody else and say, hey, I got this grandiose idea, but after I talk to the trustees, we got it here, but at least I got part of it done. Does that make sense?
It makes sense.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
No, because I think that's what the problem is. Part of the problem, in my opinion, was that she wasn't willing to say, hey, I got this gigantic plan, let's say a $10 million plan. And after the board said, we might need to do like 2.3 million. Well, no, we got to do 10. And there's no give on her end, in my opinion.
And then she would, but even when she would get the rejection from the trustees in some instances, or many instances, she would still do whatever it was she wanted to do,
Well, yeah,
and
there's that
then
too.
come back and say, "Okay, now deal with it." Like, what's his name, Smokey's mama in Friday, make it enough. That was her attitude.
Facts.
Yeah.
Also, one of the problems with Tiffany is sometimes she would outline these things and on a more grandiose scale than was even realistic. But when they wanted her to scale back or do something different, she had no recourse. She had no plan. A lot of times when she presented whatever it was, there was no plan. And that's what, the trustees were wanting, like a little bit more details or substance to her ideas. And not only did she not have them, she got defensive when they even asked for that. So that was part of the problem. And not only that, it all kind of goes back to inclusiveness, those cow meetings, to where, that's where you present these grandiose ideas and not just get feedback from the board, but the community as well. And then you all decide as a whole, how to push this thing forward. Tiffany didn't want to do that and did not do that. And that's what, caused a lot of the problems. And just, back to your question about Jason, just if he can withstand those things that he did with Tiffany, with the belittling, the condescending, then I have no doubt that he's able to navigate any scenario where someone disagrees with him or, doesn't buy into his idea. He doesn't lead from a dictatorship perspective. His whole leadership style is different. So I don't think that will breed some of the contention that you see when Tiffany brings things forward.
I got you.
Yeah, just I'm sorry, Leila, go ahead.
Oh no, I said well said. I was saying Alicia well said. That was
Thank you.
very well stated. Yep.
And I just want to say, when you think about Riley, the previous mayor of Dalton, he had the same kind of temperament as Jason House, maybe a little, but they were in the same family. You didn't hear him screaming and yelling. He always stayed calm. And remember when Jason House ran for treasurer, he had got more votes than Tiffany, right? So had he ran for mayor, she would not have been in that position right this moment, right?
Interesting. Okay.
And remember, he's been a leader in real life. Like we don't even know if she's graduated from college. We don't know her
Oh,
leadership
wow.
skills. Like, just real information to know to back it up. She got her hand up. She got church hand up. Ooh, go ahead.
She graduated Kuma Molati. So she
Girl,
did graduate.
why does she do that, man? Why does she do that?
She graduated
She
with
did.
honors
She
from
graduated.
Clown College.
Wow. Yeah, no
I'm
question.
sorry. You can put me in timeout.
Yeah, I'm putting you in timeout.
Put me in
No,
timeout.
but if you did just hop in, by the way, if you did jump in, it's like 450 people watching. We just had some good content creators. We went over Kamal Woods lawsuit, as well as Jedediah's
Leotis.
lawsuit, Cleotis lawsuit. And now we're just talking. So we have Lady Luck Club here, as well as D Love from No Apologies, Just Me. We have Alicia in the building, as well as Chicago Red. And we're just talking it out. So feel free to jump in to the best live chat on the internet. I appreciate y'all. No, so all right, so let's fix Thornton. We got Dalton up and running. Okay. What's the first thing that you would advise the next supervisor as it relates to Thornton and Thornton Township and its duties and responsibilities? What would you say? And by the way, there is a Republican, so there's a Democrat, an Independent, and a Republican running. But what would you say that they should do day one or start
Audit them
with?
books.
What?
Audit those books.
Oh, no question about that. I agree 100%.
Mhm.
Chicago Red, you just auditing books.
Definitely audit the books, but I would also make it more inclusive of all of the villages because right now it seems like it's just Dalton, Harvey, and um, Cal City.
Okay.
But there's 17 villages in Thornton Township. And I think one of my major issues with Tiffany is that whenever she would throw an event for the township, it was always in Dalton.
But you know
Or,
why though?
oh, I know why. I know
They
why.
didn't want her there. They did not want
Okay.
Tiffany in their
Well,
community.
Oh no. Okay, no, don't keep any secrets. Don't keep any secrets. Why?
they don't
Because
want her in the
I've always
community.
wondered that too. I'm like, when she had that board meeting in Harvey, and they had she had a meeting at Harvey, and I was like, that's my first time ever seeing them anywhere else that wasn't Dalton or Thornton. So like, why is it?
Well, the Thornton Township meetings are actually in the village of South Holland, which is right next door to Dalton. So that's where the headquarters for Thornton Township is located, which is no
Really?
problem.
Okay.
Yes. And that's where they should be held. That's where the meetings should be held. The reason it was in Harvey was because that brawl happened the week before.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah, that was the only reason. But when she's doing these events that are under the Thornton Township moniker,
Yep.
I feel like she should spread it out, but she only does it in either at the township or in Dalton. But as D Love said, they don't want her in the other villages, and I can understand that.
Wow. Okay.
I get it.
Remind you that they have like I was maybe called satellite centers, right? Like
Hmm.
they have a they have a Thornton Township for seniors building in Riverdale. I heard they had something in Calumet City. I've never seen the one in Calumet City, but I heard there's one in Calumet City. And you know,
Hmm.
nosing me, they have in South Holland. I didn't even know they had those two parcel of land for uh the Harvey food pantry thing. Thornton has a where they store their buses at, and they have buildings there. I didn't even know that till I went driving
Hmm.
around
In South
All right.
Holland,
in South Holland. It's like
I
I don't
think
know.
I
Mhm.
think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's back in the industrial area.
Yep,
Don't get in
like over there
trouble.
by Taft. But over, it's not Taft. It's I know what you're talking about. I
It's
know
down
exactly
from
what
the
you're talking
old strip club. I'm just
about.
saying. It's, the
You
strip club is
gotta give
down
you
the corner.
geography. She had to get it geography.
It's
She had
on
to
the
go
What
there.
was
old
that? The
street.
old club Oak, the
Yeah.
old club.
Yeah.
Okay, I know
Hmm.
you're talking about. I
Now,
know you're talking
D Love was talking about clubs earlier. She said that's so.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
back in the day, don't judge.
Okay.
Well, now Harvey was the strip club spot
Harvey,
at
really?
what? Oh
Uh-oh.
yeah,
Yes.
notorious.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep,
Yes.
Okay.
yep.
All right. So, what you doing to fix Thornton as best you know, Lady Luck Club? What would you do?
I think I would, I mean, of course I'm an outsider, so I can't
We're
say it's
undocumented.
specific, but
We're undocumented.
yeah, I know, right? Undocumented immigrants. Dalton and Thornton.
Thornton is
But I mean,
a sanctuary township. There we go.
right. I would offer some like general advice to just, keep an open mind and don't do just the bare minimum to get in the position. You got to continue to talk with the residents to unite these, the 17 towns or whatnot on the Thornton. You got to do what you need to do to stay in the position and to deliver whatever you say you're going to deliver. Just make sure you deliver that. I mean, if it's not real, if it's to the point where it's unrealistic, bring it down. Talk to the community, have those meetings, and get job descriptions in place, get the budgets in place. Get people in place that can do FOIA requests. Like, just do the basic things that you need to do for it to run smoothly. So that would just kind of be my overall take on that. And hopefully whoever wins, they do take all that into consideration, because I think you guys have had enough up there. So
Yes, we
I
have.
agree.
So,
I like
let
it.
me ask you a question
So
then.
let me let me address Mike real quick. So we're honorary residents. You are correct. Mike. We are honorary residents. But if you hit that like button, I'm pretty certain that you will still not be able to vote. But if you just hit that like button, I'm certain that we can get you, triple coupons off on 5th Sunday or something somewhere. We can work it out for you. So make it happen. Hit the like button. All right, what were you about to say, Dee?
I was going to say, my problem with Napoleon Harris, that how he gonna be, that
I
Thornton
know.
Township is a full-time job. How you gonna do this full-time and get a full-time check and be here part-time?
I think the other question, I agree with you. I thought the question was, we'll never see you. We need to see you.
Oh, that's true too.
To me, I feel like that's his biggest Achilles heel is, have we seen you? I've at least seen Nate at
Not
a
since the
Thornton
caucus.
Township meeting. Yeah.
Napoleon Harris or Nate?
I've seen Nate at
You ever
a
seen Napoleon?
township meeting. Right. Napoleon, we don't need you to win, and you're going to need like new employee walkthrough day. Like they have to walk you around and show you how to use your badge and stuff and where to park because you ain't never been here. Like, be here. Like, to me, that would be the biggest thing. In my opinion, being amongst the people, which I think Tiffany did a good job of doing, is like showing herself as being out there with the people. Because she was always comparing and contrasting herself to the trustees. And not saying the trustees have to go do that. Not saying that you need to be out there shoveling people's snow at 10 o'clock in the morning at night, because that's crazy. But there's some things that she did that you got to say, yeah, she was out there in the mix, out there with the people, rubbing shoulders and stuff. And in my opinion, coming to a board meetings, because again, like you're going to be running board meetings, Napoleon, you're going to be running board meetings, Nate, one of y'all, or the Republican. So why don't you come to the meetings? Why don't you come and just public comment, use it and talk about what you're going to be doing, or talk about who you are, give people at least a chance to hear your voice. That would be my opinion. Or come on here, Dear Woke Christian. Well, I'll interview you. We can make it happen here too.
Exactly. Yeah, me too. I would love to interview them both. I think Napoleon needs to be more personable and I personally don't think he should be in both roles. If he's a state senator, supervisor, he needs to come out of that state senator position. That way he can dedicate himself full time to this, because after 4 years of nonsense with this girl here, you're gonna need to really bring some more of that personality and just fine tuning, the outreach portion of it, along with policies and developing infrastructure and the finances. But after the slaughtering from this woman, there's some damage control to do with that. So you need someone that's going to be out and just be amongst the people and try to repair relations. There you go, repair just some sort of a repairing of relations and talking with people and letting them know that they matter. And they don't have to feel like they've been, after all 4 years of being subjected to all this abuse, they don't have to feel like that anymore. So that's my spin on it.
No problem. And Lady Luck, you are breaking up a little bit. I don't know. You're
Oh,
starting to
I'm
get a little bit
sorry. Can't.
pixelate.
Oh, Lord.
You speaking in italics, but and
I'm
just
so
a, just
sorry.
oh no, it's okay. Just to deal with McCoy, I agree. I think she was out there with the Goyim because she was promoting herself, and Lord knows she's putting her name on everything and pictures on everything and all that kind of stuff like that. So yeah, there was a high level of self promotion,
Yeah.
but you can't deny the fact that even in the self promotion, if she was throwing a party and she was out there with y'all with the party, you at least got to say, there she is right there. She promoting herself, but there she is right there.
Okay, please let me interject, dear Woke Christian, because the
Absolutely.
Dalton trustees do the exact same thing. But the difference is they're not, with camera letting everybody know, look at me, look at what I'm doing
Okay.
for these destitute residents. They're not doing that. They're doing the same things. They're doing bingo, they're doing yoga at the library, they're doing line dancing. And it kind of bothers me that I guess they have to have a camera on them at all time for it to be justified that they're doing those things. Not to
Okay.
mention, they're doing them really for the residents, which is why they don't have a camera on them all the time. Tiffany is there, but it is not about the residents. Not only is she there, she maliciously, in one of her food giveaways, singled out the people that she didn't like and chastised them about being
Yep.
in her line. I
I
mean,
remember that.
how's that
Okay.
a good representation of being there for the people? And then one last point about two more points. One, when you ask what they need to do, they need to get rid of Keith Price and people like him that are a black eye on the township that are still in their roles. They started it with William Moore and Kamal, but they need to continue it with Robert Hunt, who, is just not accountable. And he's an
Okay.
accountant, but he's not accountable to the numbers, to the
Is
books.
that the young guy?
He's the
Yeah.
I guess he's,
Okay.
yeah, I mean, your
Okay.
determination of young, but
He's about
yes.
40.
But he doesn't. I've asked him on several occasions, what's the budget? Do we have a surplus? Something that Tiffany name drops on all the time, every meeting. But when you ask the finance guy, he has no idea. Now, this is at a meeting where you should be prepared with that information. So that's another thing. Get rid of, those kinds. And then, darn, I forgot the third thing. But again, just those are my two things for now. And if I remember
No.
the third one, I'll come back to it. But
We'll let you do it. We'll let you do
yeah,
it.
But
I just
I
don't
asked
want it to
Alicia a
be
question.
negated or overlooked that the trustees do things without a camera in their face, begging, for people to say, oh, I know the third thing. I also, there's a whole gap of people that don't qualify for any of those Thornton Township services, including,
Mhm.
myself, but my taxes do go to fund them. So that is a huge problem for me. There, this entity that's, highly funded, but it's only geared towards a select few. And not only that, I also feel like prioritization needs to be had at the township, because spending that kind of money on big bingo and things like that and kind of
Big
picking and
bingo's
choosing
crazy.
where the money is going is counterproductive, and it's not efficient, and it's not conducive, to moving forward in a financially responsible way.
Mm.
Alicia, I have a
Alicia,
question
go
before
Uh-oh.
you.
ahead.
Now
No,
it's
go ahead,
Alicia's
Nina.
show. Let me step out of the way. Let me let y'all just go and interview Alicia.
A
Do you,
mess.
do you think Robert Hunt is acting that way because that's what he's been told to do, even though he shouldn't do it?
You know what? I don't care what he's been told. He is a grown man, and he has a responsibility to his position
That
and,
is
and,
right.
and to his accountancy, his career and his profession. So if he's been told to do something that he knows he shouldn't do, step down. Don't keep doing it. The FBI isn't gonna, accept that response. Well, they told me to do it.
Oh,
He's gonna have to
right.
face the music.
She had
So
better sense
I
than that.
don't accept that.
Okay.
Alicia said,
So,
I don't accept that.
Well, I don't.
Not
Anybody
that
else
is not
can. I'm saying
acceptable.
me. She has to,
Alicia said, I'm not playing with you. I'm not
no,
playing with you.
I'm not
I
playing with
love
radio.
it. I
so
love it.
Alicia, I have a request
Sure.
because you do have a relationship with the Dalton trustees.
Mhm.
I have a BA in marketing, so I have some knowledge about the psyche of consumers and
Mhm.
how we receive things. And we're no matter what we're doing, we're always consumers. So even in this process of politics, the
Mhm.
residents are the consumers.
Sure.
Sure.
My request or my suggestion to the Dalton trustees, even in their most genuine, um, being genuine in whatever it is that they're doing publicly, have someone record them. because we are in a space of social media, TikTok, and those things. And you want the younger voters because Tiffany always went for the seniors because what do seniors do? They vote. Younger
Mhm.
people, not so much. You want to get the seniors and you want to get the young people, but to get the young people, you got to be visible. And my suggestion is maybe not everything, and not everything doesn't need to be recorded, but just show some of the things that they're doing, even if they record it and show it at the meetings. It doesn't have to be posted on their social media. Put it in the meetings so that they can see it. And when it's in the meetings, trust and believe the people recording will put it out there. And that's my only suggestion because I understand they don't want to be that person, but sometimes you got to play that game, but
Right.
just don't play it the way Tiffany plays it,
I
but
agree.
do it.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Can you guys hear me? I'm sorry. I know
Yes.
my
Yeah.
phone was breaking out earlier. Okay, yeah. And the piggyback off that, Red, that's a good point because I said that I was in one of Jedi's live and I said that to Mary Avant and I said
Mhm.
you have to meet people where they are and where people are on social media. So
Yep.
Mhm.
like trustee, the T with trustees, that's an opportunity to incorporate some of these platforms, YouTubers, and people that can come in and live stream that, and open up dialogue. And then maybe the trustees can take questions from some of these, live streams with YouTubers and stuff to help
Absolutely.
expand out into the community more. Because at this point, you know, my kids are on their phones. I have to tell them to put it down, just eat dinner. It's just certain things that's just glued to these phones now with social media
Yeah.
and that's what they're absorbing. They're absorbing from that. So sometimes you just have to meet people where they are. And it doesn't have to be all the time, but it can be maybe once a month or twice a month where you have this slow incorporation of putting it's making that brand, and just kind of not to really put it out there like it's facetious, but
Mhm.
you got to put it out there to where these people are able to come in and they can do things virtually. They can look at these, meetings where the residences are able to finally raise their voice. And another point to that, it was this girl here. It didn't matter if she went out and gave out food boxes when she was kicking people out of town hall meetings for exercising free speech. To me, it's what difference does it make if you out here showboating about a skating rink or come on and get a book bag and all this other stuff, but then when you have a meeting, you turn around and treat the residents it's like crap.
Yeah.
You're telling them they can't ask questions. You're infringing on First Amendment rights. You basically turn around, you verbally abusing them every meeting. So them food boxes and book bags mean nothing. With you recording and so doing all this stuff, if you turn around and then you tell someone you can't ask a question, but you can only make a comment. What is that? You put two people out because you don't want criticism. So that stuff is just moot when it comes down to that. And she's just doing that to showboat.
Hey,
All
Lady
right, that's all.
Lashla,
I
they
agree.
do that in Harvey. You can't clap, you can't talk, you can't do nothing. So it's nothing new out
You
here.
can't clap.
Mhm.
Man.
Oh yeah, now that's an infringement on First Amendment rights right there. Clapping is the first is the freedom of expression, it's part of expression. And it's you would think Clark would know this being an attorney and all, but there's US Supreme Court rulings that support that. So for them to say you cannot express yourself is an infringement on your First Amendment rights. And it's so direct and brazen bold, it's disgusting. It's just
I mean, we know
why they
that.
get around with it.
We know that, and that's
Mhm.
one of the reasons why I don't speak up at when if I do go to the Harvey meetings because I don't have time for that. I'm not trying to fight no case or anything for no bogus arrest because I chose to speak up. So that's not a
Mhm.
Right.
battle I'm embarking on. But back to your point about the marketing with the tea with the
Mhm.
trustees, that's more sacred for them right now, especially because everything right now is just publicized and magnified. So when they
Mhm.
want residents, especially if they want them, the ones that actually do vote and the ones that are directly affected by this situation to come out, they don't want it to be under the scrutiny of a camera lens, which, mind you, probably wouldn't even be there if Tiffany wasn't in office, if this was just a regular tea with the trustees. And I think that's the goal, to get back to that and not have this big spectacle of just Dalton, and their, political process or administration.
Shenanigans.
Yeah. And then also
Mhm.
they do, mind you, having said that, they do have their designated recorder, which he was there at the last tea with the trustees, and he actually did just put out a video that was recorded that day, a nice, very, very nicely produced promotional
Hmm.
video. So they do that. I mean, you're what you're
Okay.
saying is not falling on deaf ears. They have been
Okay.
doing that. It's just the audiences and where they find it. More people follow Tiffany, so they're going to see her stuff more. But if you look at the Dalton politics groups, those videos are always posted because I'm always
Okay.
liking them. And then, mind you, as far as the kids, I understand that as well. Brittany is their link. Trustee Norwood is their link to the younger generation. She's done Wild and Out. She's done a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
She just did Family Skate Night, which I went to. So
She did.
Hmm.
there's no disconnect between
Hmm.
their ability or attempts to reach out to anybody, let alone the younger generation. It's just not magnified like Tiffany, because that's all Tiffany's doing. That's not all the trustees are doing. They're doing other things, and they have lives, and regular
Hmm.
jobs. So I had to get
And
that point.
Understood.
I
Yeah.
appreciate that. I guess for
Yeah.
me with Tiffany, like I'm always sickened when people see someone homeless on the street and they help them, but they record themselves helping them. That's how I see Tiffany. Like, why would you record yourself helping this person in this moment?
Yeah, I agree.
Like that's the do that in your private time. Don't make a spectacle out of this person when you're trying to do something good for them. Just do something good. And I see Tiffany as that person. But I can see the trustees not wanting to be in that type of space. I get that part. But maybe if I don't know. I just feel like if they can just get their information out there a little more widespread, then
You're off to the races.
that's just.
I
Point taken.
I would recommend that they just treat it
Mhm.
like teachers used to do. Teachers, when you've been in the classroom for a while, you had to have a portfolio every year, and it was just artifacts of things that you've done, like what ways that you've taught different lessons and all those type of things like that, and just treat it like an art, just like a portfolio for the trustees of just things that you've done. They don't have to be grandiose, well produced. It can be, hey, here's just a picture from Tea with Trustees. Here's a video from a trustees town hall meeting. Here's some pictures from the Wild and Out skate party or whatever like that, just to give
Mhm.
just an evidence of what you've done along the way. So every year you can say, this is what we've done. And this really worked well. This really didn't go well. Let's stop doing that. Let's do more of this. And it actually helped drive better programming and such of that nature. But then also it shows, you can show it, whether it be on your social media, on your Instagram, on your YouTube channel, or just on the website, for crying out loud, just on the village website. This is what we're doing, so they know that it's been done. Rather than, what did we do? I don't remember. Did you remember what we did? I don't remember what we did. Um, and I'll drop this link again of Reality Check. I see Reality Check in the chat. If you want to jump in again, brother, you're welcome to put that link back in there.
And my cousin attended the last tea with the trustees a week or two ago,
Okay.
and it was amazing. She took a video of them. They were in a circle, and
Mm,
one, it was a lot of folks there,
gotcha.
and it was very, what's the word I want to use? What's the word? Not somber. It was very uplifting,
Uplifting.
spiritual.
Okay.
It was a spiritual vibe to it. It was really nice. So I know that their meetings are very well received by the people that attended, but I just want to make sure that that visual kind of gets out there.
I got you. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Um, and if you want to Reality Check, if you want to jump in just to say hey and make sure everybody knows where to find you, I would gladly give you an opportunity to jump in here into this. We can double dutch. We double dutching out here. You can jump in here, get your turn for sure. No, that's cool. Do you feel that and I'll start rounding these bases because I know y'all like, look, we still talking. Do you feel that the engagement from the community is only because of what's been going on? Or so if the meetings, the level goes down to just very quick and very solemn meetings. There's no shenanigans, no fisticuff, no drama. Do you think that there'll still be packed houses, or do you think it'll just people like, oh, never mind. This is my Monday night fights, and there ain't no fighting going on, so I'm not gonna come. What do you think?
Well, drama breeds interest.
That's fair. That's fair. But will it continue? Like, is this going to be? Do you feel like this will be genuine interest from the residents? So again, like Tiffany's out. It's a cool, calm, collected township. Cool, calm, collected Dalton. What are you thinking?
Well, what I think is that these shenanigans have brought awareness. So
Yeah,
it raised the awareness for people who
Mhm.
otherwise would never have been involved in the political process. But one
fair.
thing specifically, and for me personally, when I make calls with the residents, which I also wanted to add that, one thing, I hear what you're saying about the videos and everything, and that's true. But even with that, some people haven't seen or heard anything. I'm on the phones, when I volunteer, and some people have no idea what is going on in Dalton. So
Really?
maybe they don't even follow social media, but for those people, it's important to call them, reach out, or go in person and knock on doors. And that's what this
Mhm.
clean house slate has been doing emphatically, making calls and really connecting with the people and not just hoping that they happen to see this video and will then vote for them based on that video. It's more than that when it comes to connecting with the residents, because back to the question at hand, you want them to stay engaged. And even on the phones, that's something that I push, and you know, um, pleasantly surprised. They're very receptive, of listening and learning. So I do think that they will now be more engaged with the process, even if they haven't before, and even if it's for nothing other than seeing what this administration does differently than the last one.
Okay. No, I love it. I appreciate it. Thank you. All right, let's round these bases. All right, let's get up out of here.
Okay.
I'm not gonna run y'all out of here, but I do want to, if you don't mind, take a second. I'm gonna give y'all big screen time to tell everybody who you are, what your channel's about, if you're doing any projects, you got any interviews coming up, anything cool and that people really want to know about. Wait, hold on. There was a cool question they said. Hold on, before we go, everybody, is there room to have a sign language interpreter at the meetings to communicate with the hearing impaired?
Mm.
Wow, wow. I would think so. It looks like there would be enough room there. Is there a large community of persons who are hearing impaired in Dalton that y'all know of, and Thornton? Respectfully,
I'm
do
not
y'all
aware, but I would think that there's a sector of the residents that are hearing impaired.
are hearing impaired? Yeah.
And also, people, Spanish speaking people who also are residents, they don't come out because there's no form of communication or that they can understand.
Hmm.
And
Okay.
keep it in mind, all those things sound good, but they're also attached to money, it costs. And I do think, once
Exactly.
they're more financially sound, that those things and those are essential to
Well,
me,
thank you.
because, there should be, a way for everyone to take part in those meetings. But again, I think getting financially sound is their number one priority, and then
Mhm.
inviting these other things back into the equation.
Hmm. I like it. Okay. Well,
Now,
thank you. That
someone
was a
wants
great.
to volunteer.
Yeah, it might
That's
be a
different.
volunteer issue, but I don't know. What? Let me ask you a question. It sounds like there's probably more persons who speak Spanish than persons who speak. I mean, that are hearing impaired. Of course, he gonna jump in now, right when we get ready to promote our channels and everything. No, man, you got to go back through all the questions. Reality check. So just go on, start. Go on, roll the tape back and start answering some questions. But so yeah, I think there'd probably be more persons who are of Hispanic descent need Spanish language translation than ASL. But that would be dope either way. I think that's a great question, great idea. Audit watcher, great thing. All right, I know you just jumped in. Reality check. How are you doing, brother?
I'm good, my brother. Can you hear me?
We got you. We got you. All right, so we got to start all the way at the beginning. No, how's it going, man? Tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us who your channel. Well, you know what? I'm gonna give you a second to get in. I'm gonna start with Lady Luck Club. We're just gonna tell us a little bit about yourself, about your channel, what you got going on, any cool projects, anything like that, where we can find you, and then of course the moderators can drop your links in the chat. That would be dope. So let's
I
start. Lady, Lady
Yeah,
Luck, you
sure.
ready?
I'm
Okay,
getting
here we
like a
go.
Yeah, can you
double.
hear me?
Yep, go ahead, Lady Luck.
I'll let her. Oh, okay. All right. So basically, I'm here, homegrown, bred in Atlanta. I'm still working full time, and of course, I got my two kids. But one of the things I'm trying to work towards is being able to, cover more stories, of course. And I did apply for a White House press pass. I think that would be pretty cool to be able to, and join in some of the conversations on a larger scale at the White House during some of their press conferences. And um, I do a lot more research reporting. So of course, the information I put out is, based on research and information, based on the law and finance, on a general scale, and try to get, just bring some insight in, try to keep it. Sometimes you just gotta laugh to keep from having a headache, so
Absolutely.
trying
Absolutely.
to bring in some comedic value to that, and just building up things, and go from there. Maybe one day this would be something I can do full time, but that's kind of the one of the things I'm starting off with trying to do, is to try to, on a larger scale, just make my way up to DC, and so I'm waiting on them to respond about my White House press pass. So hopefully and prayerfully that'll fall through, and I can kind of get more expansive from there. So that's it.
I love it.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. Thank you. All right, D Love, it's your turn, homie. What you got? Tell us who you are and what you about.
Hey, this your girl D Love from the South Side, Inglewood for life. I go by just me. I live in the Thornton Township area, and I just like to just come on here and just have friendly, grown up conversation. One thing I have going on, hopefully I have Nate come on soon, and a fit attorney out of Atlanta. We working trying to connect so she can come on the channel also. Just bring different people on and have grown up conversation. So it's just me. No,
I
no
love it.
apologies, just me.
I
Holla.
love it. I love it. And I'm dropping the links to everybody's channel in the chat. So please, if you don't mind, there's 400 odd people right now that are watching. Hit the like button, of course, and then jump over there and support. I get my panelists tonight. So all right, Chicago Red, let's go.
It's your favorite girl from the Midwest, Chicago Red. And I am a government contractor during the daytime, and at nighttime, I just sit and watch DWC. No, I actually, under my Chicago Red name, I have a page where it's really lifestyle, fashion hauls, a little politics, but I've switched over to Chicago Red TV. That's my second channel. I'm trying to build that one so I can start going live. But that's where I'll have more political things going on and commentary on different TV shows and some YouTubers.
I got you. Well, welcome. Good to have you. And
Thank
I am
you.
trying to get Alicia's in here, but in the meantime, Lady Alicia, tell us about yourself.
Hey y'all. You know me, I'm kind of boots on the ground in this fight. I live in Thornton Township. I do support the candidates for Clean House 2025. So you can find me, a lot of times just supporting them, whether it's making phone calls or, supporting one of their fundraisers. So yeah. My channel, it's kind of new. It's for Alicia Nicole. I am at the meetings all the time, and I do record front row. So yeah, and I just kind of give my take on the meeting, while I'm recording. But I do try to do it more respectfully so that people can hear. But yeah, so that's how my channel was born. So right now, that's what it's about. However, this stuff is not going to go on forever, but I do intend to keep politics to some degree on my channel, but I do want it to transition to just a community uplifting channel, like just a channel where, all things related to community uplifting, whether it's restaurant reviews, whether it's thrifting, something I like to do, so mine is kind of a hodgepodge. Well, will be a hodgepodge. Right now it's politics, but slowly but surely I'm branching out because I have a life outside of this stuff.
Love it. I love it. Well, thank you. All right. Let's go reality check TV in the building. How are you, brother? Tell us a little bit about yourself, what your channel's about. And of course, if you have any projects or anything dope you want to talk about, let's get it. Let's go. I think I caught him with his mic off. I caught him with his mic off. That's okay. But I think I did drop his link in the chat. I think oh man, I'm dropping people left and right. Is it me? Is it me? They don't want to holler at me. They said, no, man, we ain't got nothing for you. But I agree with you so much. All right, let's see what we got. All right, we're back. What's happening, man? How are you?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can, sir. Tell us a little bit about yourself, about your channel, anything cool you got going on. And of course, I dropped your link in there so we know how to find you and support you.
All right. It's a it's a big delay.
Okay, well,
It's a big delay. I can hear you, and then it's an echo. But I'm Reality Check TV Chicago. I'm investigative journalist. I'm also a minister, and I do every Sunday evening at 8:30, 8:40 p.m. I do a sermon. I proclaim the word of God with power and conviction that souls will be saved and that lives will be changed. And my channel is about bringing reality and checking lies at the door. And I'm transparent. I'm out in the streets every day. I run different businesses, so I'm touchable. I'm reachable. Um, Pretty much everybody knows me. Chicago Red knows me. Uh, Nicole knows me, and of course you know me,
yeah,
and
most certainly.
everybody else. And my opinion about what's going on with Thornton Township and Dalton, it just needs to be more transparency. All the hidden agendas that's in the background need to be addressed. And when falsities are brought forth, they need to be checked at the door. And people need to be wise and mindful of who they're putting in seats
Most
because
certainly.
a lot of people don't deserve those seats. And that's just my opinion. That,
I think that makes great sense. Thank you so much. Reality Check TV. I appreciate you, brother, for sure. Now, you're always welcome. Of course, all of you all are welcome to come through whenever. Hit me up and shoot me an email, anything of that nature. I do want to say thank you to the best live chat on the internet. Thank y'all so much for making this a great conversation. It was impromptu, but I love the way it fleshed out. I love it. I'm glad to have y'all. If y'all could please make sure, I did drop the links for all of my guests, even those that have tapped out. I've left their links in the chat, so please make sure you go by and check out what they're doing. Give them a nice like. I'm sure they've earned it, so I'm gonna speak on behalf of them. They already earned it. So go ahead and make sure you like their channel,
Jason, is
subscribe,
this
and all
the
that good jazz.
precursor for election day? For election night? Is this the
Oh,
precursor?
that'll be fun. Okay, so for election night, we are having. Lord have mercy. I have a 17-year-old that's harassing me. For election night, we're going to be doing a watch party for sure. I am collecting Tiffany Henyard isms, those catchphrases that she uses. So if you see a short with her using her little catchphrases, fake news, or I got receipts, whatever, send them to me because I'm putting them together in a nice little montage. We have a nice little video montage to enjoy on election night. I think y'all are. So far, I had 11 of them so far. So if I can get it up to, I want as many as y'all send me. As many as y'all send me, I'm gonna just put them together, and I'll be working on that this weekend. Have some fun, but election night, yeah, I'm thinking it's gonna be something fun, and hopefully I have some more things planned. So I'll let y'all know as well. So be like Foxy right here. She says she subscribed to them all. Be like that. Be like that.
Thank you, Foxy.
Absolutely. But no, I appreciate all of y'all. Reality Check, you are welcome whenever. Of course, Alicia Nicole, of course, Chicago Red.
appreciate you, brother.
You all are more than welcome whenever. I appreciate y'all, especially the fact that, and you're in Chicago too, right? Reality Check. You're not just like me, a carpetbagger, right? You're actually in Chicago.
He's here. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah.
Morgan Park,
So
Beverly area.
yeah, I think that's dope that there's so many of you all in this area that are involved in this and know each other and cross pollinate. So that's cool. Next time,
I'm just here
Alicia
to
said
make
next
sure
time.
everybody. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, Alicia said next time she'll make sure she camera ready.
It's all
She,
good.
she put her bonnet on early.
I'm just making sure that
It's okay.
the outliers understand that there's no the S on Illinois is silent. Dalton is not spelled with an A.
Oh,
Cook County, the village, and the township are three different entities.
really?
I'm just trying to help the people.
Help the people out, especially because we're
It's a lot.
undocumented. We're
It's a lot.
undocumented. But the funny thing is, there's a Dalton, Georgia, and it's
Okay.
up the street from me. So I've had many people send me stuff from Dalton, and I'm like, no, that's the wrong one, baby. No, that's not their
Lord.
board meeting. No, there's a little bit too much vanilla in that board meeting, baby. It's not. That's not.
Dalton,
That's not
Georgia is not
Dalton.
lit.
Yeah, there will be no shenanigans in Dalton, Georgia board
None.
meeting. I'm just gonna give you a heads up. No, that's a good point. I don't think I even mentioned that, but yeah, you're right. But everybody, I want to say thanks again. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with us, and we look forward. Let's do this again. Let's plan to have y'all come back again, talk about some other topics. Who know? Tomorrow we might be talking about Tiffany's receipts. Tiffany's got receipts coming.
All right.
Now, reality check. Now, come on, man. You know them receipts is coming, man.
Yes, sir.
Right?
They coming.
Oh yeah, they're coming.
Hopefully. Hopefully.
Are they gonna look like the receipts like you was that note from that you would give your teacher in elementary school with crayons about my mom said those receipts gonna be bad if
You
they
know,
ever material.
I did that in second grade one time.
I know. I knew you. I knew it. I knew it.
I
I
didn't
knew
know
it.
any better.
I'm here to judge you. I'm here to judge you. I'm here to judge you. Okay. Well, if I'm gonna
We
tell you
listen
right
and
now,
we don't judge.
I'm gonna tell you right now, if by any chance she does upload some videos, some quote unquote receipts, please know this camera's coming back on. It's going. Matter of fact, let me check right now before I go. President Firstborn is right here. What do you want? Come here. All right, President
Hey,
Firstborn wants to harass
firstborn.
y'all. Oh wait.
I'm firstborn too.
Oh, ain't nothing in here. What is? Oh my gosh. Okay. Prom dress sighting. No, don't bring it over here. All right, everybody. Okay. All right, that's cute. Okay, prom dress is in the building. If you're following me, what was that last week? It was Saturday. Okay, that looks cute. Okay, don't get your cute
Keeping
self
it
out of here.
classy.
Bye. Call your mom. All right, everybody. I want to say thank y'all so much. Now I gotta go figure out. Now I gotta go do prom dress assessment. I don't know why I'm doing this, but
Daddy
y'all pray
duty
for me.
never ends.
Never,
Yes, sir.
correct?
I appreciate that, my brother.
Oh,
And
no
thank
problem.
you for having me on. I don't have the echo and the delay now. I had to turn my earpieces off. Had to figure that out. So
Not,
if I spoke out of order, I apologize.
not a problem. And we've been having a great night, and you are more than welcome. So you are welcome whenever, man. Looking forward to connecting with you again. Chicago Red, thank you so much for being gracious and coming through and blessing us with your presence. Thank you so much, Alicia, as well. I'm just glad to hear some different perspectives about what's going on in this community, because you hear from the news, and let's just say like most of it is sort of kind of right. But then to hear from you all, boots on the ground, literal residents, multiple year residents, you hear like, oh, it's really not what I was told. Or you get a better perspective on things that they're not even mentioning, like the skating rink and things like that. No, because I talked to somebody today about the skating rink, and I was like, no, the skating rink is in ill repair. Like, no, it's not. I'm like, no, like literally, I sent pictures. I got the videos on my channel. The skating rink is not in good repair right now, and they didn't believe me. I said, well, go check it out and get back to me. But those little cool things like that. So I'm glad that y'all were able to come through tonight. And
No problem. Thank you for the invitation. I'm glad something was able to work in my favor and I was able to get on.
oh no, well, we're glad that you did. I'm glad Reality Check came through and everybody else that came through as well. So y'all, thank you so much. I'm gonna let y'all drop back, and if y'all want to hang around, I'll catch you in a second. I'm gonna say goodbye to everybody. So real quick, y'all, thank you so much to the best live chat on the internet. That was a lot of fun. But anyway, thank y'all so much for rapping with us. Hopefully y'all enjoyed that. That was fun going over the legal cases, and then of course having all these great guests, man. Lots of fun guests, man. We'll have to do that again. So let's who knows if Tiffany drops a report, I guess we'll be back tomorrow, but I'll probably be back tomorrow anyway. So look out for the thumbnail, all that kind of good jazz. Thank you again to all of you all. I appreciate the moderators. Thank y'all for keeping everything moving in the right direction, keeping the ship afloat. I really appreciate y'all. It's been a blessing. Thank you so much. All right, I'm gonna go be a dad. So if y'all don't mind, I'll see you all real soon. Grace and peace. Take care.